They are used to running households. Even at our plant, it's not just me alone. My mother had assisted me enormously in this plant when we had started out initially, because I too could not afford too many employees. Today we have 120 employees, but initially we didn't have so many people. So trust me, she was very good. She was very good in managing the human resources department and the commercial department. I suppose it came from being an retired economics teacher. So it worked. But again, I generally find that women are much better than men. I don't mean to demean men in this. Men are very good at what they do. Probably they do a lot more than what we can do. But women are equally good. That's all I would like to state.
Equally good but different. I think that's the crux of the issue, that each one has their own qualities. Namrata?
I think as far as entrepreneurship is concerned, it is not really different. The challenges are about the same for a man or a male entrepreneur as much as the female counterpart. However, like Satya just mentioned, I think women have a few plus and minus points of their own. Plus is definitely, yes, we are good at multitasking, we are very compassionate, we do listen more to the problems that our employees have. There have been instances where the boys in my office have come and said to me, "Aaj girlfriend se ladai ho gayi, kaam mein man nahi lagta." So we are okay to take that, and it's easier to understand them, share their feelings and be with them through. So we do make good managers, same as the men, of course, in their own ways. On the other hand, we are a little soft at heart. But I was very happy to hear Saumil say that too, that he couldn't fire people, because neither can I. It's a very difficult one. So yes, we have our own pluses and minuses, but I think, again, like Satya said, we are equal counterparts. We are equally educated today. We work almost as hard, and probably harder, because we are also looking after the house, we are looking after children, managing all the logistics, managing groceries, managing relationships. We're managing so many things put together.
Are men are not managing? I'm not sure about this. Are men managing or not? What can men do to make it possible for more women to be here? Today, I was looking at the agenda of TiE, and apart from in today's session, apart from woman power, there are no women in any other session. So obviously they're not. Yeah, tomorrow evening, but I'm saying today. I mean, obviously we are still in a minority somewhere. And generally when I go for such events called woman power, only women are sitting. Today men are also there, so we have opportunity to catch hold of your attention also. So Paticia, what do you feel about it?
Actually, what I would say is that, see, when we run a show, and again, it is not mostly the women who are working with us. And here also, again, men are working with us. And being a woman, like, initially, they don't tend to take commands from us. They feel, what can she tell us, and all that. And so we have to work so hard to prove our abilities to our staff itself, for them to gain confidence that, okay, she is a woman of substance, she can manage. And after that, of course, our team falls in place. Till then, it is really tough to get people working for us.
You mentioned in catering, for example, you have like almost all men employees, because it's done on a very large scale, and you have very heavy
it needs muscular
vessels.
Effort. So we have, the best cooks are men today. But even then, to be their boss.
Only in office, not in homes, no?
I gave it to all of them.
One of the themes, in my book, I have interviewed so many women, and all of them have thanked their spouse, their mother-in-laws. In fact, I probably should have had a small thank you section so that they could thank various people in their lives. And a lot of men I've interviewed earlier, few have mentioned these things, but not many. So I just want to understand that a lot of women talk about the fact that I would like more support. I would like more support from my family. So what is a kind of support which helps you in this kind of a journey?
The first support you require is from your current family. That is, could be your father, could be your husband, your brother, whatever. If you don't have that, believe me, it's very difficult for a woman to do a job. As long as you're unmarried, it's easier to get parental support. But once you get married, there are problems on the home front. There are children, there's the husband, there is the house, there are the in-laws, there are a lot of things. And even today, there is a generation of older people who still believe that women should be heard, not seen. So under such circumstances, when people go out to work, when people do, you require an enormous support to be able to succeed. Because I was one such case, as I mentioned to you also. So you need it. I mean, without that, you can't come up. It's very difficult.
You mean like emotional and moral support, or are you talking about physical, logistical?
No, I'm talking about emotional support, because you need someone to agree. You need also physical support. In the sense, let me put it this way. I had 2 school-going children. They were very young. Now, my job timings would take me out. I mean, I was working in Ajanta Pharma, where I would leave at 7 a.m. in the morning to reach my office by 9 at Kandivali, come back home, leave that place by 7 in the evening, come home by 10. Kids were sleeping when I left. They were sleeping when I came back. So I had to have somebody to take care of them. My husband was in Ankleshwar at UPL. My parents took care of my children in those days when I was doing the job. I mean, so I needed somebody to help me out. Otherwise, it was not possible. I mean, I couldn't have done the job. Because all said and done, every company in India, except one thing which we have tried to make a difference in our plant is, never hold meetings post-working hours. Unfortunately, 90% of the Indian companies believe that maximum work is done in an HOD's meeting post the working hours, where all HODs are made to sit and play what is called passing the parcel. After 1 hour, the managing director gets bored and then says, okay, all of you can go home now. So, I'm sorry. I know, no pun intended, but I've seen this happen in all the corporate circles, and I've worked in some of the best of them. So it's a personal experience from my side. So for women, it becomes difficult. For the man who's been sitting in the HOD meeting, he has a wife to go home to who's willing to put something on the table for him. But the woman who goes back has to still work and ensure that things are put in place for her. So you require support. Without support, it's not possible. And I'm sure that every person out here, even a man, if a man is an entrepreneur, he requires the support of his spouse. Without that, it's not possible. In fact, my being here today was a very strange thing. I was not planning to be here, as Rashmi knows very well. I lost my husband only 10 days back. Not 10 days back, on March 2nd. And I was not supposed to be coming here actually, but then I decided that I needed to come out, get out of the house for a while. But yes, you need the support of your spouse, you need the support of your family, you need the support of everybody. So that's how it is.
Same question. Okay, I think Satya has spelled it all very well for us. There's not much I have to say about this. Yes, you do need support. Both.
What do you do as an organization? Do you do things, like as she mentioned, most of the companies are not aware of these issues, or they are aware, but they don't want to really do something about it. So in your company, are you making any policies which reflect this?
Yes, so to start with, the number of women in our industry is quite small. But however, I think it is more about policies for everybody. Yes, women do face certain problems because they have to manage a lot of logistics at home. But even for the men, so we encourage 9 to 5 working hours, although in the creative industry that is very difficult because people only get ideas in the middle of the night, which, you know, I don't know how that happens, but that is how it happens. So, but we do encourage working in time. We say, please go home after 5 o'clock.
9
please
to
spend
5
time.
or 12 to 7 or something, because सुबह तो उठना बहुत मुश्किल है creative लोगों के लिए.
Yes. No, so we work, you know, it was a challenge to have a discipline in such an undisciplined, chaotic area of work. Because people do work through nights. They usually like to sit when there is nobody in the office, when the lights are all turned off, when you can just see your screen and be happy with what you're doing. But so we had to try and put some discipline in, because when we are working in various departments, we have to be working together. So we came up with various ideas. What we said was, you know, you have to be in office by 11 o'clock latest. In case you're not coming, do send us a message. If you don't, we will mark you half day. But if you send us a message, say I will come at 2 o'clock, that's fine. As long as you deliver what you're supposed to deliver within a certain number of days. So you could work through the night, work in the day, whatever. But from 10 to 3, we need you in office for meetings that, like Satya said, we don't do any meetings after 6 o'clock because we feel that most of the times in meetings we are only agreeing to disagree and we just end up, finishing our meetings without very concrete solutions. And especially in the creative industry, everyone is so creative that everyone has brilliant ideas and each one of our ideas is brilliant. So yes, we do that, and we also try and see, it was quite a fight with our investors, but we do give a 10-day vacation on Diwali because we want everyone to go home, the women and the men.
10-day vacation. Does anyone get a 10-day vacation for Diwali? No.
Yes. We do that. Like I said, it was challenging.
Anybody interested in joining animation, then you can. Same question, Patricia, but tell me a little bit about, ultimately catering is not a 9-to-5 business, right? I mean, at one time when you were managing the, entire facility at 24/7 at National Institute of Port Management, at that time, I think from 5 in the morning till 12 midnight, you were making industrial quantities of chapatis, rotis. I mean, there were young men who used to go for exercise and eat 30-40 chapatis at a time, I think.
I know.
So,
and that is how we can successfully do what we want to. If we have the pain or that we don't, have the confidence that somebody is taking care of our children. As a married woman and when children are there and when we have ventured into business, this is our main priority. First the children. Then only we think of anything else. So for me, as far as I was concerned, that was my main concern. Because mine was a 24/7 operation. And I had to stay back at my working place most of the time. Because it was cooking and it was not getting over at 12 o'clock also. There were things which we had to do even after that. So the support from the family is really aware. It is very, very important for especially women who are in business.
Yeah, whether you're a man or a woman, you have to get the work done and you can't maybe cut back on the number of hours you put in or the kind of effort you put in, but definitely you have to make arrangements so that, your home life and family life can go on, that children at least physically have a support, of course emotionally you're available to them, and not feel guilty about it. Because a lot of women do all this, but still they are guilty, I'm neglecting, I'm not doing the best for my children, and then they are neither focused on the work, neither on the child, and they're somewhere hanging in between. So I think before we throw it open to the audience, I would just ask you to all give a few words of advice to the young people in the audience who, may want to become entrepreneurs. So, advice for these young men and women. For the women who want to maybe start their own enterprises, and for the men who might tomorrow be married to a girl like this, who also is wanting to be an entrepreneur, what kind of advice would you have for them?
What I would say is always follow your passion, because I'm successful with my passion. Whatever I studied or whatever I did, finally it was my passion which is taking me through. Because when you take up something which you have a passion for, you give your complete self to it. When you don't have an interest for something and you go and you're employed to it or you go behind it, we are not going to be successful. For me, what I would say is go behind your passion and give yourself completely, fully for it, and you're successful.
That was really nice. I believe so too. Passion is really important. To me, I think it is very important to keep going. When I was talking to Rashmi, I also realized there were so many points where I thought, I can't go back to office tomorrow. Thankfully, there were people in my house who pushed me out and say, go, But it is really important to keep going, not give up. There are ups and downs. There are times which are really difficult, but then there are times that are really nice. And when you reach a certain level, you will definitely enjoy what you have gone through and look back at everything with fond memories. The other thing, especially for the women, we do tend to once we are married and have children, we do tend to put our children before everything and prioritize that way. But to me personally, when I set out to work, the first thing that I said to myself was, it is a choice I am making. So when I am going to go to work, I am going to work and not think about whether my children have eaten or not eaten, because if I have to do that, then I may as well be at home. So thankfully, I did have a very strong support system. My mother, my mother-in-law, everyone was in the same city, so they took good care of the children. But however, I really restricted myself from calling up all the time and asking, have you gone for class? Have they eaten? Have they come back from school? Have they? No, because it was a choice I made. I wanted to work. I wanted to grow and become a successful entrepreneur. And when I went home, all my time was for the children. I did my mails or whatever calls or everything only after they went to sleep. So I think if you segregate and prioritize time-wise and manage your time properly, the balance is also not very difficult and you can do it well.
I would only give this much advice that, as Rachel put it, whatever you do, do it because you like doing it. Don't do something because you feel someone tells you you're supposed to do it. I'm an engineer. I'm into marketing. I've been into marketing all my life, and I've enjoyed marketing. But yes, entrepreneurship is not just about marketing, passion, or something else. It's about a commitment to the 120, 130 odd people you make, a commitment to the financial institutions who support you through and out, a commitment to the investors who bank on you, because you are the face to the world. You are the company as far as they are concerned. So you need to understand that when so many people put their faith and trust in you, you can't let them down. It may mean a lot of sleepless nights. It may mean a lot of troubles. You might get calls at midnight saying that some machine has been halted or something has happened. Someone has cut his hand or someone has cut his finger. Ours is also a 3-shift operation. It's a 24/7 company. So you have to be ready to handle any emergency. And as the previous speaker said it's a jugaad. I love marketing, but I'm still doing jugaad. I'm doing things which I forgot in my engineering. I relearned again after I set up my unit. I remembered all my engineering back again. I had actually decided after completing my engineering that I would never look back at an engineering textbook in my life. But I have been doing it, be it civil, be it electrical, be it any other department. So it's a matter of commitment, it's a matter of choice, it's a matter of passion. But at the end of the day, it is honesty, trust, loyalty. Please remember this. These are the 3 things you have to look into. It's not just when an appraisal comes to you when you are looking at the appraisals, when you are looking at increments, when you are looking at various things. It's not just what the person has got you as an output. More than that, it's what is the effort that has gone into it. Because a failure is not necessarily an individual's failure. It could be a failure of a team. It could be a failure from the management. It could be a failure from various sides. So look into various aspects, learn to be more tolerant, learn to understand, and I think you will be a successful entrepreneur. Thank you.